Girl Sis Man podcast. For the girls we were, for the sisters we became, and the women we are becoming. Welcome back, y'all. Today is our second episode with a special guest. As you can see to the left.
Wait, I don't know your way. I don't even know.
To the left of me.
Okay.
And if you're listening to the podcast, you wouldn't be able to tell, but to the left of me, and I guess you're right, I have my wonderful friend, Margaret. Say hello, Margaret, to the people.
Hello, people.
And if you've been watching or listening to our podcast for the past 2 years, I can't believe we've been doing it for 2 years, you might not know this, but she is the third unofficial podcast member of this podcast. Because we are habitually always talking about you. We're like, yeah, we were hanging out with Margaret this and Margaret that. And I'm like, one of these days Margaret's got to show up. And here she is. Woo! We finally made it. But yeah, we've been doing it for 2 years. And I feel like most episodes, your name comes up. It's a sickness.
I don't know if it's most episodes.
I feel like if I went back, I can do like a Margaret count check. And I feel like it could be a drinking game.
Oh!
And we're gonna get drunk, okay?
We're gonna get wasted!
I'm 42, Courtney, what the fuck are you on? Yes, we will get very messed up if we play this drinking game.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Also, Margaret is also getting an invisible award. As you can see, it's invisible. Because you are one of 2 people who actively comments in our comment section. So thank you. Thank you. Here you go.
Thank you. I try my hardest to engage with the content, okay?
We appreciate you. It's you and Deja. I gave her an invisible award.
Yo, it really is me and Deja.
It's just the 2 of you.
It really is.
And I'm like, okay, I'm tired of you people hitting up Esther, talking about the podcast this, the podcast that. Say it in the comment section.
Yeah, y'all have views. And I'm like, interesting viewers. Y'all had on this.
Y'all very quiet.
Really? Church mice.
Exactly.
What's going on?
Like, come on. So it is a engaging conversation. Say something downstairs. That's nice. But yes, Margaret is filling in for Esther, who's in Korea. Yes. She's having, I don't know if I would say the time of her life, but she's...
A time in her life.
Yes. A time in her life. She's, in the Far East, and she'll be back soon enough. Mm-hmm. But I was really excited to have you today because you and I are always constantly sending each other memes, videos, and recently we were like, wait a second, is it 2023 or is it 2003? Because I don't like it. Mm-mm. There was a video I sent you, and it's this girl. She has like fuller eyebrows, but she's showing you how to get thin, skinny eyebrows without over plucking. And I said, Margaret,
no.
The time has come.
Pack it up, flat screen.
I was like, it's happening. They're here. Mm-hmm. The 2000s are back.
It's horrible.
It's just the skinny, the low-rise jeans.
Yes.
The skinny eyebrows.
The layering is back. I've seen people layering their clothing.
I will literally throw myself off a cliff if I see someone wearing a dress with a pair of jeans underneath. I literally saw High Low on Aerie's website, and I was like, ew, please. Stop it. Get some help.
I beg of you. It was ugly then. It's ugly now.
Oh my, there are so many ugly things that kept happening. And there were certain things that were ugly that I feel like are making a bounce back that I'm like, I could see if we remodeled this. Like the Juicy Couture velour track pants.
I love a tracksuit.
I love it. Is it a little cheapy sometimes?
Yes.
Yes. But if you do it the right way, it's very cute. It's giving hot soccer mom. And we stand that. But there are certain things I'm like, we don't gotta repeat this.
Yeah. Let's leave that in the past.
Let's please stop doing that.
In the dark ages where we were.
I'm glad the makeup isn't really returning yet.
I genuinely, if the makeup goes back to the time I'm deleting social media, I'm going into hibernation, you're not going to see me until a decade later. I'm not doing it.
The frosty lip gloss, the frosty eye.
Oh, please, no.
I really hope we don't get back there.
I was sad about the butterfly clips coming back. I'm like, y'all gotta stop.
First of all, butterfly clips in my home are a dangerous tool. My sister nearly choked on a butterfly
Yes,
in 2003.
they're literally a hazard.
Yeah, and they're kind of cute, but they're also not cute. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, we didn't gotta do this.
I don't understand why we're bringing these things back. Did you see the claw headband is coming back? And like people are doing the clippy thing in the back of their head.
Yes.
And I don't hate that so bad, but I'm just like, y'all, there's a reason we left this in the past.
I was watching this video by Modern Girls on YouTube, and so she talks about how fashion cycles always reappear 20 to 25 years later, and
oh my God, we are at the 20-year. Ooh, shall we aging ourselves?
we are old ladies.
Ooh, we just told on ourselves.
You know, it's really hard to think about certain things and think this song is 20 years old because I can remember when I first heard the song. Like, it's crazy to me to think. We were talking about what our favorite album for Beyonce is.
Yes.
And for me, it's B-Day.
Yes.
It's from 2005. It's going to be 20 years old. Yes, ma'am.
I literally have tears about to come into my eyes. I'm like, oh my God.
And it was a time in my life, we were like 10 or 11, and I just remember her music being, it's always popping.
But it was popping.
I was like, I think this was her second solo album.
Yes.
And so you understand the first one, she was coming out with Crazy in Love, and it was a bop.
Yes.
But 25 well, technically it's B-Day, but I remember
When she was 25 because it was on her 25th birthday. Yes.
I remember like she is the moment. She is Beyonce.
Also, like the hits on that album were the music video. Everything was.
Everything was wonderful.
And that was the first time she did a music video for every single song on her album.
Yes. And I think at that time, I think people knew, like, she is the top musician of this era.
That was when Beyonce became Beyonce.
Yes. And so it's just, like, crazy to think certain songs are 20 years old. Certain outfits and things like that. I'm like, the 90s is close to 30 years ago.
Yes. It feels like just yesterday. It literally feels like I always think of these moments in time, and I'm always saying to myself, a few years ago when XYZ happened, and I'm like, oh, that was not a few years ago.
No, it wasn't.
That was many years ago.
Many moons ago. It's
like
crazy.
my little children. Now, I don't have children, but like my little nieces and stuff.
Your cousins.
They didn't even exist.
You know what's really funny? It was like a trend on TikTok, and I was like, what is it, Gen Z trying to relate with millennials and asking questions like, where were you during 9/11? And I'm like, don't do that. Don't ask me no question like that.
Yeah.
I was in school. I was a youngin'. But it's crazy to think, like 25 to 30 years ago, we're replicating the styles again.
Yes.
And it's coming back to the forefront. Certain things just need to lay to rest.
The 2000s was literally the worst time for fashion. I don't know why that would ever come. Like, it was literally the worst.
I will say, after the 2010 to 2014, 15, that whole Lana Del Rey, wearing those clogged, studded, ugly ass shoes, the Tumblr girl. Like, I'm not saying it's worse.
The Tumblr girl aesthetic was ugly.
It was like, so Y2K is up there.
No, Y2K is cute.
It's cute. Then there's like the mid 2000s where we didn't know what we were doing.
I literally do you remember red carpets in the 2000s?
Have you seen
They looked like they were on drugs.
They were.
Like they were. Like they were. But they look like they were too.
There's a photo floating on the internet. You can Google it, or maybe I'll pop it. It's Ashley Tisdale on the red carpet. She's wearing jeans. She's wearing a long sleeve shirt. And then like a long dress with jeans, and then she has a boa, feathered boa, and I'm like,
and we thought she was killing it back in the day, by the way.
I will tell you this: there's one person that I'm like, I liked her style in the 2000s. Raven Simone. Oh, well, Raven Simone.
Child Simone. I don't care what she said. I don't care.
It's too late.
You should have corrected us then.
It's too late. It's too late.
Nope. Too late. Just like Rihanna's gonna be Rihanna.
See, I do see Rihanna sometimes. I do, but I also.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like A-N-N-A, and that's typically how you say Anna. Yeah. But like, if you didn't correct me then,
it's too late now. You're Rihanna now.
I'm sorry.
You're Raven Simone.
Actually, I'm not sorry. It's just gonna be what it is.
Actually, like I care. I want to care, but I don't. But that's But there's this outfit that she had like on the red carpet. It's like a Lakers shirt with this cute like skirt. She was so cutely dressed, and I loved how she dressed.
She looked so good.
Yes,
she still does.
She does too.
But like back in the day when she was the it girl, she was the it girl.
She's fine. She was real fine. But yeah, there were certain things I don't want to ever see again a day in my life. I'm good on that. And it's really funny because like when you watch TV shows, like you saw what they were wearing and you really thought like, this is fashion. This is giving icon.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, I don't want the Paris Hilton aesthetic to ever come back into style. Like that's hot Paris.
It was cute in the moment.
It was very cute in the. I was like, oh, like this girl has it going on, like all of the fits. But now that I think about it in hindsight, I'm like,
yeah. I remember certain people that I was like, I see what you're doing, and I appreciate like Christina Aguilera in her dirty era.
Oh my god,
with the bleach blonde, with the dark streak highlights, and I'm like,
she looked good.
She looked great,
but everything else about it was like objectively
bad. Like if someone else did it, and I think she even had like a piercing. Like it was a lot. It was a lot.
She had like a big nose piercing, and then like the one that's under your lip.
Yeah, and I'm like. Interesting. So there are certain things I don't want to ever see again, but there are certain things I'm like, oh, I know where you got that from. Like the money piece that people wear. It's like if you don't know what a money piece is, it's like if you get these two chunky highlights up front,
right in the front of your head.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I saw Lindsay Lohan rocking some money pieces in like Freaky Friday. I'm like, I see where it's coming from, where its origin is coming from somewhere.
Lindsay Lohan also I thought was pretty dope.
She was the it girl.
Yeah, she
and
was.
then.
And, you know,
then the drugs.
We know what happened, but
and the
drugs.
But she was the it girl. But I remember like watching her movies, and I always like really gravitated to her. I like Hilary Duff, but I was a Lindsay Lohan kind of gal. She gave me.
I don't know who I liked better. Honestly, that's a hard question.
But speaking of, but not her name. I was gonna call her Lizzie McGuire. Hilary Duff. As a kid, do you ever like, remember watching things and think, this is great. This is cinema. this is everything.
Everything on Disney.
There's a clip you just sent us. It's Hilary Duff in her movie. I forgot what movie it is. And she's singing.
It's a Hilary McGuire movie. Oh, Hilary McGuire. It's a Lizzie McGuire movie.
It's this other one with like John Corbett in there. And she's like, oh, yeah. And she's like singing so off key. They're blending her voice.
They're blending in other voices with hers.
It don't work.
And we thought she ate.
Oh, we did. We're like, give her a Grammy. Give her an Oscar.
Slow clap for her. Like, I was like, she ate that.
She is the moment. And
watching it in hindsight, I'm embarrassed.
I have secondhand embarrassment for her. I'm like,
the fact that I thought she ate that, it's not okay. If I never watched the clip again, I would still say that she ate that movie up.
But now that you know, you're like,
oh, absolutely not. Unacceptable.
But there were like so many different clips growing up. Like now they're resurfacing on the internet, and I'm like, Camp Rock is another one of those where I'm like,
Camp Rock is so cringy,
so bad.
It's really bad. Like I never knew it was that bad.
I never knew either. I really thought it was a great masterpiece.
You could not tell me Demi didn't eat that up. Like you couldn't tell me.
Oh no, for sure. I'm like, this is great. She's giving you dynamic. She's giving you all the angles. She's giving you nuance. And then you watch it and she's like, Mom, stop. And I'm like, we could have said that with a little bit more effort, with a little bit more feeling. But yes, so much cringe happened in the 2000s. And I'm like, we really were out here standing people, not understanding the garbage we were given. Yeah,
but I will say some things were decent. Like the Cinderella story movies were fire. The one with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray.
Oh, okay. Chad Michael Murray had us in a chokehold from 2003.
Put me back
to 2008.
Put me back.
Listen, he was
still fine.
He was the it guy. I remember like One Tree Hill, Freaky Friday. Like he was in everything.
Put me back. Take me back.
Now he's on Hallmark doing Christmas movies. And that's okay. Pay the bills. Pay the bills.
You know, karma. Because you know he cheated on his wife when he was doing One Tree Hill.
Oh, because he was married to Sophia Bush. Yeah. Listen,
you know,
what?
karma. you know.
What goes up must come down.
It just...
Yeah. One Tree Hill was a hot mess that I loved. It's chaos.
It's so bad. Like,
but it's so good.
It's so good. And like, I'm one of those people who, I watched One Tree Hill when I was in like high school. I didn't even watch it when it first really dropped.
Really? Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
this is great.
So good. This is amazing. And like, still to this day, I will rewatch it whenever it's on. But I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Oh, this is real bad.
Really, really bad. There are so few shows that have stood the test of time.
First of all, it ran for like 10 seasons. You know, there are things that I watch and I'm like, who wrote this?
Like, what? And how did you have the wherewithal to keep writing this?
Well, because people kept greenlighting it, but there's a scene, I forgot what this girl's character's name is. Her name is Danielle Harris. Mm-hmm. She's the redheaded bitchy cheerleader. Mm-hmm. And she was like, hey, Nathan, it's so funny. Because she starts dating, okay, so Nathan is one of the main characters. Mm-hmm. His dad's name is Dan Scott.
Oh my God.
And she was like, hey, Nathan, isn't it so funny? I used to want you to be my daddy, and now I'm your mommy, because she's dating Nathan's dad. And I'm like, who the hell speaks like that in real life?
The writing on that show, criminal.
I'm like,
criminal. I don't know who wrote it, but
are you not embarrassed?
It's really embarrassing.
I'm like, why would you write this?
No, it's like when you go back and rewatch these. Like, I recently was watching Gossip Girl, and I was like, I'm embarrassed.
I'm like, we need to do better.
Like, just
there were certain things that I'm like, oh, okay. There's a scene where Vanessa and Serena are having a Guitar Hero battle.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is very much 2000. This is 2008, and it's you're aging yourself.
Yes.
But yeah, there were several clips throughout Gossip Girl that I rewatched, and I'm just like,
it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed.
Like I could have done without that. But another thing I noticed, they do a lot of slut shaming in these shows. The word slut just kept getting thrown around so loosely. Mm-hmm. And they said it with fervor. You could feel it coming out from the bottom of their diaphragm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, girl, you need help.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why we have cancel culture today when I go back and rewatch all of these shows, because I'm like, ooh.
You get away with everything.
Like, the fact that this was greenlit to say. Mm-hmm.
I remember one time Blair was talking to Serena and they were beefing. First of all, I don't know if y'all know this about me. I just love teen shows and I love reality TV. It's my guilty pleasure. So Serena and Blair are the main characters of Gossip Girl. If you don't know, you don't know. It's on HBO. Catch an episode. And Serena's trying to go to Yale or something. And Blair goes, oh, you know that Yale doesn't have a major, you can't major in slut at Yale.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, this girl's trying to get an education. And this is what you say to her?
It was really fun. Like, okay.
But they slut shamed Serena the whole time.
I was going to say, I was literally just about to say that. They slut shamed Serena so bad in that show.
The whole entire time.
Granted, her character was questionable.
Okay, so the thing about Serena Vanderwoodson, I want to defend her. And then
how? She had no growth. Like, she literally did not grow at all that whole show.
And at times, I'm like, am I victim blaming? So if you've ever watched the show, this girl gets roofied or drugged
every season.
I was like, listen,
baby.
The first season, I understand. You didn't know better. The second time around, girl, stop taking drinks from people. Don't get a water
bottle.
Don't
go to parties. Just like,
stop.
But also, we don't want to victim blame, right? I hate to have this line of thinking, but in my mind, I'm like, so this girl's just not gonna grow and evolve at all.
Sure. No, but like she repeatedly had bad instances where she was drinking, and I'm like, are we not going to learn?
And the fact that she really married Dan Humphries, which I won't say why, because I'm not going to give spoilers.
I'm going to spoil it because the creators of Gossip Girl fucked that shit up.
They did.
They made him Gossip Girl, which pisses me off relentlessly. But you know what it was? They wanted to divert expectations because people were like doxing information, and so Gossip Girl was supposed to be Serena's brother. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, you're not going to get us. You're not going to get the ending. It's Dan. And I'm like, that don't make no sense.
It literally made no sense. Like, quite literally. But then again, you know what I noticed? And it's still happening today, but like the writing on these shows.
Horrible.
It's not good.
It's subpar.
It's really like, and when we were young, it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. But now, as an adult rewatching, I'm like, who allowed you like, it literally made no sense. Like, it did not make any sense. At that point, we should have just never found out who Gossip Girl was. I mean, because it didn't even matter at that point.
It really didn't. I'm like, you could just make her a Dua Machina where she's this tool that you use sometimes.
Right.
And I was like, we didn't need to do all this. You could have just...
And then what irked me is, like, so she fucking marries? Like, what?
First of all, you were out here doxing my information, slut-shaming me virtually. You ruined my life.
Ruined her life. Ruined her mother's, father's, brother's, sister's, cousin. Everybody's life got ruined.
And at the end, she goes, well, he's one of us now.
Is he?
It's not necessary.
Like...
Yeah. No, but there's so many shows that I'm just like... I feel like certain shows you have to suspend disbelief. Or you're 100%. Like, okay, this don't make no sense. But I'm gonna keep
But there are definitely some things that did stand the test of time. Like, I've been rewatching Buffy because...
I love me some Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
My favorite. That show, it's just aging beautifully. It's aging so fucking well.
Give Sarah Michelle Gellar her flowers.
Yo, give it to her. She deserves it. She deserves.
Yeah, there's certain shows for sure that I watch and I'm like, this is good. You know, Esther really loves Veronica Mars. And I started watching, it is good. It wasn't for me, but I've heard that that's one of those shows that too also test the
I bet you it does.
I'm not watching it.
And when the Esther please, I know you're going to be like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
You're never going to watch it.
But sometimes certain shows, like the first few seasons are golden.
Yes.
And then it's like, it derails. So certain things I'll rewatch up to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
For like me, I watched The OC. The first 2 seasons,
I
great.
actually didn't watch The OC. Was it good?
Yes. So, and the writing was really good, the first 2 seasons. Actually, if you didn't know this, the writers or the creators of Gossip Girl wrote,
I did know.
They reproduced The OC. So the first 2 seasons, wonderful casting, great writing. Like, they were saying things that, like, now as an adult that I didn't get as a kid. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I see the funny. But sometimes certain shows I can only rewatch to a certain time. Yeah. Like for me, Gossip Girl, I think I've watched in its entirety, and then I watched it I rewatched it in its entirety again. But I know for a fact, mid-season 4, maybe even season 4, I'm
after
done.
Season 4 is a big wrap for me.
But like season 4 itself, I'm just like, I have to stop this.
It's really not good. I honestly stopped after season 3.
Oh yeah, season 3
like,
fine.
I could probably get through season 4. Like, I won't die.
Exactly, it's tough.
But I'm not watching anything else. That's it.
After a certain point, you're like, what are we doing?
And that's the same thing with One Tree Hill. I don't watch past like season 3 or 4.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I just don't even.
I'm rewatching it now, and I'm on season 2, and I know for a fact I don't think I'll ever finish it in its entirety. There's no need for that.
We're not gonna get into why that is, but
I could just imagine.
It's like hard pass. It just gets to the point where you're like, I literally don't give a fuck. Like, I just don't even care.
I'm not invested in the storyline anymore.
I feel like you're gonna drown me with this, and I don't want it. Please. But that's why I was telling you the other day. Like, they need to start making limited series. More of a thing.
Yes.
Because sometimes you only need 1 season to tell us the story. You don't need multiple. You don't need to keep going. Just leave it at 1.
An example, we were talking about You, which stars our good friend Penn Badgley. We don't know him, but we love him in our hearts. He's been done dirty so many times. I want to know him. I would love to. He seems like a fun old guy. He's always dancing on TikTok, and he looks so cute. Yeah. But yeah, we were talking. I was asking Margaret, "Are you gonna watch season 4?" Because I'm not gonna watch season 4. At this point,
I didn't even watch season 3.
So I watched it because I was like, okay, let's. And then it finished, and I'm like, I don't think I need to see anymore.
But why would he marry Love? Like,
you don't. Did you finish season 2?
Yeah.
Because she's pregnant.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're like, plenty of men ditch their moms, the baby moms.
Sir, if you're dating somebody crazier than you, leave. Okay? Immediately abort. Men think they're good at something. If a woman is better than you at whatever you think you're good at, I shouldn't say it like that. But like,
stop.
If you are a serial killer and you just so happen to end up with another serial killer who was such a good serial killer, you didn't even recognize that she was a serial killer. Boy, you need to run. Like, what's hide? Run away.
Run away deeply.
Immediately run.
You're like, you didn't have to do all that.
So I couldn't even take their. Okay.
So season 2 of You were like, thank you, I've had enough. So I watched season 3, and you know when something could get so good, but you see that they stop making the effort at certain points. I'm like, yo, you should have taken a left and you took this right, and now we're here. And so, but yeah, after season 3, I was like, I feel like the way they ended it, if they really wanted to end the series,
they could have
the ending. Spoiler alert! Are you gonna watch this?
No, I already know how it ended.
Oh, so they die. So yeah. So Joe is dating or married to Love, and so they try to kill each other. He kills her. He fakes his own death. He gives up his son. At this point, just make it seem like we don't know what happens to Joe.
But you see how he gave up his son? That's exactly why I said, why did you marry her?
If this is what you want to do. If this is what you were
because you ended up being a deadbeat anyway. So what was up?
Allegedly, it was the right thing to do for his son.
The right thing to do.
That was the right thing to do.
I'll tell you off camera what the right thing to do was, because I'm not trying to get vilified comment section, but
so like I had a plan. So season 3, the way it wrapped up, it could have been the series finale. So I'm just not invested.
I think they weren't sure if they were going to get greenlit for another season, and I think that's why they ended it like that.
Gotcha. And it would have worked out just fine, because I would have liked the ending. Because like Love dies, you're on the run, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not invested for season 4. I'm good. I'm good on this.
And then all of a sudden they threw in British accents and stuff. I was like, all right.
Like what we need not to do.
So what we're not gonna do.
Like I can handle so much, and now you're doing the most.
Like I already had to suspend disbelief the fact that he ended up with a fucking serial. Like I was like, so this bitch is killing people behind you.
So like y'all just gonna kill people, and the police are never gonna suspect you.
They just didn't sniff y'all at all.
Nobody even called you into a precinct. Nothing.
Mind you, he had like a trap in his like little garage thing. You know that little fucking
the glass, yeah.
I was like, sir, please.
At one point, I felt like when you watch the first season of You, we were supposed to talk about the Y2K, but we'll get there eventually. When you watch the first season of You don't like how do you explain? You're not really like he's a good person. Yeah. You're intrigued because you're going through the motions of a crazy man doing crazy people stuff. Yeah. And him getting away with it. Yes. That's what intrigued you. You're not like, yeah, Joe, start kidnapping these people, start snatching them up. Yeah. And I think the writers didn't know what to do with that, because like to do that again several times, you're not going to like this man. I don't think you were, like you said, it should have been a short series, but I don't think you could like Joe to stay the same with season 1 for this whole time. Yeah, so they had to introduce a character who is worse than Joe. And you have to make him kill for a reason. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, I'm trying to cover my tracks. Yeah. Or I think in season 3, I don't know if you didn't watch it, they show how his mom used to get beat, and he was the first one he killed was the stepdad. Yep, I like read this online, and I'm like, oh, so now we're like making it a thing that he's not killing because he's a psycho. Yeah, we're killing because he has a history. They're trying to make me feel for the guy, and I'm like, no. What we liked the first season, if it can't be replicated, stop. Yes, but if it can be, figure it out. We just don't need to, like, must we do this where we have like 30 seasons of a show that could have been done in 1 or 2? Yeah. Do we need to do that? No, we don't. And I think Insecure did a good thing of wrapping up what it needed to do. I don't like the ending. I'm not going to lie. I did not want her with Lawrence. That dusty crap. It is dusty. The fact that Issa ended up with Lawrence, mind you, this fine parade of men, just what I said. Listen, all blue eyes. Yes, he was a barber. He could have done something more with his life, but he was a handsome man. Okay, but at least he wasn't a freaking let me not say that. Ooh, okay. Where did Daniel go? That's what I want to know. They should have at least brought him back for like a hot skip. Yeah, just like, hey, I've been living my life. This is what I'm doing, but we didn't get any of that. No. But Issa knew from the beginning she didn't want like this long stretch. Yeah, and I love that. I love that she knew. I think she was the one who said that once Molly fell in love, the show was over. Yeah. And I really like that they didn't drag out Molly's problems either. Because I was like, look, I mean, you're not going to do this to this girl like this. Please. She was dragging up the first 2 seasons. Broken Pussy, I listen, how are they still friends after that one? I'm like, you know, I feel like Molly is a good person. Yes. And she took it in stride. She took it very well, because that would have tested a lot of friendships. I would have to look at you from the corner of my eye for the rest of my life. I'm like, so you're the one rapping about my lady. Especially since it's something that really upset her, you know? Like,
when I think about it in hindsight, if your friend is expressing to you like their deep displeasure with their romantic life, maybe you don't rap about it. You know what I mean? Like maybe you don't make it a joke.
How about you rap about your dusty ass boyfriend that's sleeping on your couch?
Who ain't had a job since '08. You know what I mean? Like why not talk about that?
We can talk about, dusty penis.
Right.
I feel like that's just as catchy.
Right. But I felt like it was a little insensitive. Not a little. It was a lot of insensitive.
Very insensitive.
And then she went on a stage. Like it was a lot.
It was a whole thing. But yeah, I think I'm glad that Issa knew when to cut
The cord.
Yeah, when she was like, this is good. I wonder what's gonna happen with Euphoria because I'm not too sure. I've watched like a few episodes and I'm like, I'm good. I'm great. Like I love Zendaya. She slayed. She looked wonderful.
Zendaya is doing a great job on the show. Yes. But I can't watch that show.
Oh, I'm good.
I don't know who that show is for, but it's not for me.
Oh, it's so like sexually violent, and I'm like, y'all enjoy this?
It's just too like HBO be doing a lot. Like HBO, let's be honest, they do a lot.
Yes, they do. The Home Box Office movie. Is that what it's? Home Box Office channel just does the most.
They do a lot. Like as soon as I watched, I don't know what number it was of the first season, but the episode where it was just a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, in the locker room.
I said, "Oh, y'all have taken it far."
I said,
"You've taken it far," and I know why they did that because it's typically like they show a lot of like female body parts and stuff. So I get it.
Yeah,
but y'all taking it far. Yeah. It's unnecessary. I don't want to see anybody's body parts. How about that?
Nobody wants to see a flaccid penis.
I'm
good.
For real though.
Stop it.
you must be stopped. But I think that as it pertains to slut shaming, I just feel like it's just women are easy targets and have been easier targets.
Yes.
And like still to this day, you catch people saying like using women's sexuality as means to like demean her.
Yeah.
So back in the day, like it was like means of comedy to like, call somebody a slut.
Yeah.
Or to like use their sexuality as like a negative.
Yeah.
Like remember in Sex and the City how they like Kim Cattrall's character was like very much like supposed to be like an empowered character, but there were little digs that were made by the other women at her all the freaking time.
They were, and it's like, oh, it's fun for you to do that because it's a source of comedy for us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's not funny, that's your friend. Or allegedly it's your friend.
And I feel like that's one of those things that I'm like, let's leave that in the past.
Oh, for sure.
Like, let's leave that in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. So there's like this, there's not a thing, it's a theory about like the, the Mary and the Donna. So like the idea is like certain people are the Virgin Mary and then some of us are like the Donnas, like the sexual beings. Yeah. And like it's called
it's Madonna and the Horror Complex.
That's it. You see, thank God Margaret's here because she just helps me with my thoughts. That's exactly it. And so it's like this balancing act of like being this virtuous woman, like a lady in the streets,
and a freak in the bed.
First of all, you can't do that if you don't know how to do that from experience.
Yes.
So you need to dead that. But yes, it is exactly that complex. And so it's like, we want you to be in these scanty class clothes, but you need to look classy.
Yeah. It's so crazy because when I think about back in the day, remember how, oh my God, do you remember what they did to like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears?
Oh my God.
Where they used to take pictures
up their
skirts and then be like, but they're always showing their,
their vaginas.
And it's like, no, like you're on the floor trying to get obviously you're going to get what you're looking for.
Exactly. Like you're doing that on purpose. You're literally violating somebody and then you're exhibiting your violation of somebody.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just sick. And like, I'm not saying that things are kind of like, the fashion trends are definitely coming back. And I'm not going to say totally that some of the behaviors are coming back too. But I'm very much noticing that we have not learned much.
Yeah. I am worried about us swinging back to like this like slut-shaming society because I do think we had I feel like sometimes it's a pendulum. Mm-hmm. And so like we were in this like sex positive, do what you want to do with your body. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it can be, I think things always go in extremes. And so I'm worried that now we're going to go back to the other extreme, which is also not healthy because then you have sexually repressed people. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, nope, we just need to like, how about we don't comment on people's sexuality. It's none of your business.
Yeah, it's a person's business.
Yeah. But I think about like Meg Thee Stallion, and so I wanted to cover the Tory Lanez case. He was supposed to get sentenced end of January, but he changed his lawyers, and so now they're postponed it. But it's really crazy if you think about it. Meg got shot in the foot, and we were worried about who she was messing with.
Yep.
We made it a whole thing. Was she or was she not messing with Tory? And I'm like,
yeah.
What did I got to do with the bullet that entered her foot?
It literally does not matter. It is inconsequential to the fact that she was injured. Someone shot her, right?
And like, if she messed with him, if she didn't mess with him, it's still a messed up form of. It's like an act of violence towards her body.
Yes.
And I'm like, so what we got to do about this? What are we gonna do about this? I was watching T Noir. She was talking about how like it's really tough because some of our favorite rappers talk about how great their sex is, how great their vaginas are, but they also, it's like the Madonna horror complex. It's like, look how great my body part is. Look how great, I have great pussy. But then they're like, oh, but I don't mess around with people.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of miles.
Yeah, and so like, I think Meg has talked about how she'll keep certain partners. Like, she'd rather like, people will say, oh, I don't sleep around. I'll have sex with an ex before I go have sex with somebody else. You do what you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with. But the idea of like, I should be this really like hypersexual being that's attractive and alluring to people, but not enough or too much because then I'm a slut. And I'm like, baby, you gotta pick or choose something because you're confusing me.
Yeah.
But I am worried because like, look at Drake. I was talking about him the last episode.
Oh,
he was all about like,
Lord.
I gotta find your loving, I gotta find your heart. And now he's out here talking about women in the most upward, disrespectful thing.
Well, at some point we need to talk about how Drake is cosplaying as a music artist. At some point we got to have that conversation because he's like not a real person. Oh, no. And every 5 years he like re-updates like a computer, you know? And he just comes out like a different human being altogether.
I was telling Deja, I said I saw something on the internet and it says Aubrey Graham is an actor and his greatest role is being a rapper named Drake.
100%.
And I'm rewatching Degrassi. Degrassi is another 2000 show that was full of all the drama. But yeah.
But it was great.
It had all the good things.
Degrassi? Oh no.
I'm in season 4 and so like it's the season where he gets shot. Yeah, it was Degrassi has a special place in my heart. But yes, Drake is an actor.
I just can't believe that this is the same man who was like buddy with Meg Thee Stallion, who also like was making a dig at Meg Thee Stallion. Mind you, he was beefing with Tory Lanez for like
forever
years. Y'all just got cool, and all of a sudden,
I'm gonna tell you this right now. This man had beef with Chris Brown and threw a bottle at that man, and then they made a song together. I don't trust him.
He's for the streets.
Yeah,
like he's a snake. Let's be like he's very snaky.
He's sneaky.
And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to start nothing. But like he probably has something to do with what's that man? XXX. He probably has something to do with it. He probably has something to do with it. And I hate to say that, but like I've been peeping and I'm like, Drake, you're really funny. Like he's a really funny guy. He moves real snake-like.
He is. He just be doing things and I'm just like, you know when I started having a bad taste in my mouth for Drake? First of all, how do I explain this? I didn't care for him. I didn't really like him. Then he grew on me. But he was giving Rihanna her Vanguard award at the MTV whatever awards. And he was like, and to the woman who's like the love of my life. And he made it about himself. And I'm like, just give her the award. Give Rihanna her award and shut the hell up.
You know,
be quiet.
I feel like he was trying to do like a grand gesture of love.
You don't gotta do that.
But Rihanna likes bad bitches, so it didn't land well. First of all,
if you didn't get the reference, her now baby daddy, A$AP Rocky, refers to himself
as a bad bitch. Yeah.
I don't know. I just, we were talking about this yesterday about how we as a society have been more comfortable complimenting men. And we should give them compliments. But we've been real loose with calling people daddies, hotties with the bodies, and they're really believing it. Yeah. And their egos have grown tremendously.
The fact that like a grown man went and said like, I want to be treated like a bad bitch, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Because here's the thing. I get what we're trying to say, but maybe there's something else that we can call.
But why is it that we can call men daddies, but we're calling bitches hoes, bitches, sluts? Like, why is it that we can't refer to women as, ooh, you baddie, like, you, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Like, we do sometimes.
But then the other words come up.
But we're real quick to be like, she a hoe. Why is she dressing like that? Why her legs open?
And they always come up with something else to call you, like the word bot. I'm just
my God.
That was another mid-2010 term that just sprung up. And I'm like, because hoe and slut wasn't enough. We just needed another
Now we got thotties.
So now we need another one. I'm like...
Yeah. And it's crazy to me because literally when I think about it, we, like, as women, if we're trying to insult each other, we immediately start talking about your sexuality.
Oh,
like,
that's like the first thing.
Like, that's like the first thing, you fucking whore. Like,
so there's two things, though.
Yeah.
It's either you're a slut or a whore, or you're fat. That's, like, literally the top two, like, insults.
And then the third is, like, you're ugly.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're not even that cute.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God. And I'm like... Dude, I've been called worse by better.
But it makes sense though, because like when you think about it, as it pertains to fashion, it's like women driving the trends. Like, how many male fashion icons do we like genuinely follow in the way that we follow like Rihanna? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, how many people, Zendaya. Like, I can name women off the top that we're tracking. Because like clockwork, they have looks, right?
Yeah.
But we don't follow men in that way. And just the same, like, as it pertains to like business and capitalism, women are like some of the biggest perpetuators of capitalism because we're buying the shoes, we're buying the clothes, we're buying the makeup, we're buying all of these things. And right, you need women to produce children.
Yep.
So
we're a lucrative business.
Yes, like literally. So it makes sense that we're the
target of all these words because it's like, oh, you want to look sexy, here's some sexy clothes. You want to look beautiful, here's some makeup. Here's all this other stuff. But also, stop it, you slut. And I'm like, sir.
You need to do these things to be desirable, but don't do too much because then you're a whore.
You're doing the most. We want you to do a lot, but we don't want you to do the most. And I'm like, heard you, but I don't know how.
The goalpost constantly moves.
Exactly.
Constantly moves. And let's not rewind time. Like, let's not go back. I literally call it the dark ages, even though literally some of my favorite moments of, not my literal life, but like some of my favorite moments in popular culture were back in the day.
Yes.
But like, let's not go back.
Yeah, there's certain things that we don't have to repeat. Like, we were really mean to Britney Spears.
We're still mean to Britney Spears.
That lady was going through some mental health trauma, and we were just out here laughing at that lady. But I agree. There are certain things, clothes-wise, makeup-wise, the way we treated people.
Yeah.
First of all, if you ever watch those shows, they're using like the R word. Like, they were calling people all types of things.
It was horrible. Like, it's horrible. Like, for example, I was one of those people who was like, bring back Girlfriends. I really want to watch Girlfriends.
Oh.
Ciao. I tried to watch Girlfriends as an adult, like, I think a year ago, whenever it first came up on Netflix. I got through 3 episodes and I was like, no.
I'm done.
No, hard pass. And I loved that show when I was a kid.
I remember the episode you told me, like, I guess Tony and Joan were going back and forth. And then Tony was like, yeah, you called me a tar baby. And I'm like...
And as soon as I heard that, I said,
thank you.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Up.
Yeah.
Like, I finished.
I'm good. I'm glad. This could stay where it needs to
like,
stay.
that's not... We're not doing that.
Yeah. Like, I get what happened, and I don't want to ever see it again.
No.
So we're in agreement, yes. Certain things just need to die. Keep them in the yearbook. Look back at the photos. Don't repeat them.
Yeah, and grow and do better, right? Like, I understand that the 90s were popping, and some people think the 2000s were popping. It's questionable, but some people think that.
To each their own.
But grow and evolve past it. Like, let's move past these things. Let's grow and be better people, better human beings. It's really irking me the more I'm like, we're going back in time.
Let's stop.
Stop it.
Yes. Leave the DeLorean alone. We will not go back. Leave 2003 in 2003.
Leave it. God, why do y'all want to go back so bad?
It's just stop.
Most people look dirty and homeless. Why do y'all want to go back so bad?
I understand that the milk and the gas was cheaper, but stop it. Leave it alone in the past.
Well, you know, inflation is real.
But I appreciate you for coming out.
Thank you
for being my co-host. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you freaking comment. I was gonna curse, but I was like, let me slow down because I've said so many curse words this episode.
You've sworn a lot.
I have. You know who keeps me in check? Esther. But that's okay. I got a potty mouth. And if you didn't know that, now you do. But thank you for coming out. Please comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and you will catch us in the next video. Alrighty, guys. Bye.